Welcome back to Sky Garden 2026, where every week we follow the transformation of a simple outdoor space into a thriving rooftop style garden filled with vegetables, herbs, and pollinator friendly plants. Week 6 marks an exciting stage in the season. The early establishment phase is now giving way to active growth. Plants that spend the first few weeks adapting to their containers, developing root systems, and settling into their new environment are beginning to show stronger foliage, increased height, and more vigorous growth patterns. This is often the point where gardeners begin to see the rewards of their patience. Leaves become fuller, stems strengthen, and the garden starts looking less like a collection of individual plants and more like a connected ecosystem. Every watering session, every handful of compost, and every hour of sunlight is beginning to pay off. In this week's update, we'll take a closer look at how the garden has progressed, identifying the strongest performers, discussing any challenges that have appeared, and outline the next steps needed to keep everything growing through the heart of the season. Whether you're growing on a balcony, rooftop, patio, or backyard deck, we hope this series inspires you to start your own gardening journey and discover just how rewarding it can be to grow food and flowers at home. Let's head into the garden and see what's happening during week 6. Tomato plants have exploded in size compared to earlier weeks. Multiple flower clusters are visible. Tiny developing tomatoes can already be seen forming. Cages are starting to fill out nicely and will soon provide essential support. The sweet pepper plant has produced its first sizable pepper. Plants appear healthy with strong stems and dark green foliage. Additional blossoms indicate more peppers are on the way. The bean plants are flowering heavily. Several blooms are visible, which means bean production should begin soon. Plants look vigorous and well established. The lettuce is dense, lush, and harvest ready. The container is nearly full, providing a beautiful visual contrast with the larger fruiting crops. The chive plant is extremely productive. The clump has become large and thick, showing excellent establishment in its container. Young cucumbers are emerging well. The support structure is already in place, which will help the vines begin climbing. The new radish seedlings around the pepper container appear to be germinating successfully. Good early growth and spacing. The bunching onions are also coming along in the bottom of the pepper plant. Week 6 has been a breakthrough week in the Sky Garden. The tomatoes have taken off and are now producing flowers and tiny developing fruit. The pepper plants are thriving, and we've already got our first pepper growing. The bean plants are covered in blossoms, which means harvest season is getting closer. The lettuce is full and ready for regular harvesting, while the chives continue to be one of the strongest performers in the garden. New cucumber seedlings are emerging and beginning their climb. After 6 weeks of growth, the garden is starting to shift from establishment mode into production mode, and we're finally seeing the rewards of all the watering, feeding, and daily care. I will be right back with the full garden tour. Alright, here we go for take 2 of week 6 Sky Garden Tour. For some reason I keep putting my finger over top of the microphone and then I get no sound. So that kind of sucks. Anyway, here we go. There's the 5-year-old chive plant. Doing really well there. Then we have bell peppers. These peppers grow very, very slowly and you get a very small yield from them. But at $3 to $4 a pop at the store, it's worth it. In the bottom of the one pepper plant here, I have some lettuce growing. We've been harvesting off that for sandwiches and burgers and almost got enough there to make a small salad. Here's some green onions in the bottom of our cubanella. It's getting peppers on it already, as opposed to the bell peppers. Here's the basil plant there. And we have a parsley plant. And then this is the other cubanella. Again, got some peppers going on there. Then we have our Sweet Million cherry tomatoes. Last year I grew Sweet 100s. So I don't know if I'm gonna get a million or not. But I did get 100 off them last year, the Sweet 100s. It is an indeterminate tomato plant. So what that means is it will just grow and grow and grow. They say that it will get to 6 to 8 feet tall. So I'm gonna have to lower that down to the ground as it gets up there. Then in between the two Sweet Millions, I've got a beefsteak. It's starting to get some flowers on it, but no small tomatoes yet. Here's the other Sweet Millions. It's got some baby tomatoes on there, so that's kind of cool already. Only the middle of June. Now in the bottom of these two Sweet Millions, I put some lettuce, but I do not see any lettuce poking up. This one has carrots in the bottom. You can see the carrots just poking through there, but no lettuce yet over here. So I don't know, maybe I planted them too deep, or I'm just not being patient enough. Then we have our first Roma tomato. It's got some flowers on it, so that's coming along. No small tomatoes yet, but lots of flowers. Then next up we have our cucumbers. Now it kind of freaked me out this morning with the cucumbers because they were all wilted, and I thought, oh no, I messed up. But apparently cucumbers, they will go limp when there's no sun to conserve water, I guess. And yeah, so they come right back as soon as the sun came out. Then we have another Roma tomato, which again has some flowers on it. These tomatoes, I'm gonna have to trim some of the bottom leaves off so I get good airflow. And then another Roma with some good flower bunches on there. Again, no small tomatoes yet, but I'm expecting that to come along soon. Then we have our Scotch bonnet. This one's going to be interesting. This is the hottest pepper that I've ever grown before, so we'll see how that comes out. In the bottom down there, I've got some radishes. They need to be thinned out because they have just germinated. Then we have a jalapeno pepper here. There's actually some tiny peppers just starting to form on there, so that's kind of cool. Again, we have some radishes down the bottom. Another jalapeno plant here with some radishes down the bottom there. Then we have our bean plant, which has got just a ton of flowers on. You can see there, even some teeny tiny beans. So we'll hopefully be getting some beans in the not too distant future. Now over here, in the 5 pots that I've never planted pots over here before by the window, they don't get as much sun as the other pots, but I'm hoping that they will do okay. Now this is supposed to be spinach. I just planted them about a week ago and they're just starting to poke out there. So we'll get some spinach for our salads. And then this one's spinach too. I don't see anything poking out of that one. Now here is a pepper plant that I grew from seed, which is why it's so much smaller than the other pepper plants. A tomato plant, which I also grew from seed. Again, smaller than the other ones. So anyways, that is the Sky Garden Week 6 tour. I gotta squeeze out here. I got very little room up here now. Anyway, that's that. Unfortunately, I don't know if you can hear it, but we got a leaf blower going in the background. Every Monday they cut the grass and blow the leaves, so I gotta try to time it. so you can hear me. Anyway, there you go, week 6 garden tour. Okay, I looked it up and I know why the cucumbers wilt at night. It's called the normal diurnal cycle. Cucumbers droop their leaves at night as a natural energy conservation measure for long hot days. As long as they perk up the next morning, this is entirely normal. Week 6 highlights an important milestone in the growing season. The garden is no longer simply establishing itself, it's actively thriving. The growth we're seeing now is the direct result of the preparation, planting, watering, and ongoing care that has taken place over the past several weeks. Gardening is a reminder that progress often happens gradually. Small changes from day to day can be difficult to notice, but when we compare week after week, the transformation becomes remarkable. We're now moving into week 7. We'll continue tracking plant development, monitoring new blooms, supporting healthy growth, and watching for the first signs of larger harvests and peak summer performance. If you've been following along from the beginning, thank you for being part of the journey. And if this is your first Sky Garden video, welcome to the community. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update from the Cooking with Rod Sky Garden 2026 series. Until next week, keep growing, keep learning, and keep enjoying the beauty of the garden. See you in week 7.